So today's class is going to focus on flexibility. And just by thanking you for sticking with us for the past 3 years on Zoom, I think you've demonstrated great flexibility just by being able to adapt and adjust to the changes in how we offer programs. Flexibility is one of those things that kind of becomes a sticky issue as we get older. Flexibility seems to be easy to lose and tough to gain back. So we're going to do a nice practice today that works through the whole body, looks at the joints. And I got to tell you one thing that's really important to know about flexibility. It can't be forced. Okay. If your body is saying, that's far enough, I can't go any further, listen to that. So actually, when you think about it, building your flexibility first begins with accepting where you are in the moment in terms of what your body is able to do. So make sure you have your yoga tie at the ready. And I'm going to go to my chair and we shall begin. So taking your seat in your chair, which is nice and sturdy, nice straight back. Let's just roll the shoulders a bit. Let's go the other way. Good. And lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Make fists with your hands. Tighten the muscles of your arms. Press your feet into the floor. Find a muscle you can squeeze. Squeeze it. And then let it all go with a hum. So I want to hear that ah sound even here. So let's try that again. Shoulders up. Fists with the hands. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Press your feet into the floor. Draw in a nice deep breath and then let it go with a good. So letting your eyes softly close or gazing towards the floor. This is when we invite ourselves to become fully present to the body, the breath, our energy, and our emotions exactly as they are in this moment without changing a thing. To come into the moment, connect with your breath. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose or the mouth. And if your mind should begin to get a little bit busy with thinking about things that happened earlier in the day or yesterday, or what you might need to tackle when you're done with practice, invite those thoughts to simply rest in the breath. Allowing that exhaled breath to extend just a little bit longer than the inhale. Inviting in the relaxation response. Let's enjoy 3 more breaths just like this. And after that third exhale, just releasing that technique, letting your natural breath come back and observing how you feel. Opening your eyes, bringing your hands to heart center. Let's join our voices as we begin our practice together with a chant of the sound of Om. Nice deep breath in. Om. Om Shanti, peace. May our practice bring us peace. Good. So as we work on flexibility, we're going to work our way through the body, taking a look at how the joints want to move naturally. Which joints are hinge joints, which joints allow a lot of flexibility, and just working with what we find. So let's begin with the upper body, the head and the neck. Inhaling, allowing your chin to lift up, and exhale, dropping down. So as you're moving your head and your neck, directing your attention to all the little bones and muscles in your neck, never pushing beyond your personal comfort zone. One more time, lifting up as you breathe in and dropping the chin to the chest as you breathe out. So now let's go from side to side, rotating your head to the right. Excuse me. Take a breath in and exhale as you pivot to the left. Breathing in and going back. So working at your own pace, your own speed. If you want to go a little bit quicker or a little more slowly than I am, that's perfectly fine. And you're really exploring, how does my neck feel right now? One more time, side to side. Good. And then dropping your ear towards your shoulder. So you're not bringing your shoulder up, you're letting the head drop down. To make your stretch a little deeper, you can just place your hand on top of your head and allow the opposite arm to fall towards the ground. Going to feel a nice sense of opening in the side of the neck. Breathe into that space. So you can either hold this position or add some what I call micro movements, really small movements, allowing the head to rock forward and back. But only if it feels right. You're the best judge. Good. Release your hand if it's up there and bring your head back to center. So this other side is crying for attention now. So let's drop that ear towards the shoulder. I notice this side is a little tighter than my other side. So observe that in your own body. I'm going to add the arm on top. So I'm not pressing down. I'm just gently adding a little weight to the top of my head. And rolling the head gently forward and back if that works for you. Again, we each have our own strengths and challenges. So working with those rather than against them. Good. And then bring that back to center. Pause for a breath. So we're going to do some neck circles, but neck circles generally are kind of frowned upon in some practices. I agree with that. I think the bones in your neck are very delicate. So we limit it to half circles. We're going to do the bottom half first, and then we'll pause and we'll do the top half. So turning your head to one side, inhale, drop the chin down, and just gently roll your chin over to the other shoulder. Breathe in. And let the exhale drop it down and roll across. And again. Back to the other side. So bringing it back to center, let's work the top half of the circle like we're painting a rainbow with our chins. So turning your head to one side, breathing in and exhaling as you look up and over and down. Good. Breathe it up, exhale to the other side. Good. Just a few more times, back and forth. Keeping the rest of your body nice and quiet. And back to center. So let's breathe our arms out from the shoulders. Good. Inhale, turn the palms up. Exhale, turn them down. Inhale, palms lift up as if you're holding the earth in your palms. Exhale, turn it down. And one more time, turn it up. Good. Breathe in. Bring your fingertips to your shoulders. So notice where my elbows are. My elbows continue to stay directly out from my shoulders, or as close as I can get. Fingertips to shoulders on the exhale. Inhale, opening. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. One more time, open. And then close. Leaving your fingertips on your shoulders, remembering that your shoulder joints are ball and socket joints, so they have a lot of flexibility. So let's explore that a bit by drawing circles with our elbows. Nice steady breath here. Notice what you're feeling. Let's do one more in this direction and then go the other way. So keeping your elbows out from your shoulders, let's inhale and exhale with a little twist. Breathe it back to center and exhale in the other direction. Bring it back. Exhale. So you can either stay with this movement, or if you'd like to increase it a little bit, you can bring the opposite elbow to the knee and bend forward as you twist. Nice and slow. Excuse me. And exhale. And up and down. Good. And one more time, side to side, or just twisting. Good. Open your arms out to the side. Breathe in and then exhale. Bring your hands up, coming into seated mountain. So letting your shoulders slide down your back body, feeling your feet on the floor, and breathing a nice, complete breath into the core of your body. So we're going to increase this movement a little bit, and feel free to jump off anytime you like. So I'm going to bring my hands down and cross them in front of me. And then I'm going to come up and cross them overhead. Sweep it in front and bring it back. You can add a little back bend here. You're going to see how this movement grows. And then exhale, a little bit of a forward fold. Sweeping up, a little back bend. Exhale. And exhale. And one more time, inhale, come all the way up, reach up. Now bending your elbow, place your palm between your shoulder blades and cradle with the opposite palm. Nice tall sit. Nice deep breath. Inhale, reach up into mountain, and we'll go to the other side. So allow the other arm to bend at the elbow, placing your palm between your shoulder blades, cradling the elbow with your palm. One more breath. Good. And release. Let them float down. Take a minute to notice all the sensations in your arms and shoulders. Good. So let's stretch those out a bit. I'm going to draw my arm across my chest and gently press on the upper arm so you feel a good stretch. And let's release that and move over to the other side. Nice press. Good. And release that. Let it go. So let's not forget about our hands and our fingers. There's so many bones and joints, little bones. So let's work the fingers a little bit. So I'm going to keep my shoulders and my elbows relaxed and just stretch my fingers out. As I breathe in and as I exhale, I'm going to tuck my fingers in and curl my palms in. Good. Inhale, spread the fingers. Exhale, curl them in. Inhaling, opening. And closing. I like to do this because I've been spending a lot of time doing cross stitch and other crafts, and my fingers are kind of arthritic, so they get a little stiff. This feels really good. One more time, opening and closing. And this time, keep your hands so the palms are flat, as if they're resting on the top of a table. Turn them out as you breathe in. And as you exhale, draw them into center. Good. Exhale, float them out. So we're just basically isolating the movement to the wrist. Great. And out. One more time. Sliding in and sliding out. Good. So I'm going to touch the tip of each finger to my thumb and work back and forth. Just checking out what's happening in the fingers. Back and forth. And then wiggle those fingers. Wiggle your hands. Wiggle your wrists. How about your upper arms? How about your shoulders? How about your head? How about your chest? And if you feel really brave, pick up your feet and give them a shake. Make your body like a bowl of Jell-O. And let it go. Take a breath. Notice how you feel. Excellent. So the 6 movements of a spine brings the movement down into the core of the body. And just allowing your spine to work in all different directions, forward and back, twisting, rotating. Okay. So let's begin with the dog and the cat. Inhaling, the chest comes forward. Your head looks up. And you squeeze your shoulder blades together behind your back. Exhale and round. Tuck your chin, roll off your sit bones. Let the breath go. Inhaling, opening wide. I'm drawing my elbows and shoulders back. And exhale. So as you come into dog, imagine you're a figurehead on the prow of a boat, nice and proud. Good. Exhaling. One more time here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And bring it back to center. So we'll move into our seated twist now, and we'll do the 2 versions that we've worked with in the past, just to make sure we get the whole spine from the upper spine all the way down to your tailbone. Extending one arm. Exhale, bring that to the opposite knee, hand to the chair. Always beginning with an in-breath and a lengthening of your spine before you exhale and begin to twist. Shoulders stay soft, chin centered with your breastbone. I'm going to deepen this stretch just a wee bit by crossing my leg. So notice where you're feeling this version of the stretch in your back. Good. Let's release that now on an in-breath, coming around. And do the second version of the twist. So bring both feet over to the same side of the chair. And this is where you're going to reach around and grab the back of the chair, but holding on lower down so your shoulders follow along with it. Good. Nice tall sit to begin. A nice deep in-breath, and the exhale creates the twist. Shoulders relaxed, breath is steady. And again, notice where in your spine you feel the twist. I always feel this version lower down than the first version, closer to the end of my spine. What do you notice? One breath more. And then we'll release and come around and do both versions on the other side. So extending your arm, reaching forward, almost as if you could touch the computer screen. Exhale, bring that palm to the opposite knee, hand to the chair. Begin with that lengthening on the in-breath, and the exhale beginning the twist. I'm going to cross legs for that deeper version of the twist. And as you're holding and breathing, notice if you can go a little bit more deeply into the twist, but without effort. No struggle. When you struggle, it just creates tension, and that limits your flexibility. So easy breath here. Good. Let's let that go and do the other version. So both feet over to the side. Nice tall sit to begin. Breathe in and exhale. Reach around for the back of your chair. So even though we're holding the pose, we're not holding our breath. And we're working the pose with little micro movements, lengthening with each in-breath and twisting a little bit further with each exhale. How about one more breath? And then we'll let that go and make our way mindfully back to the front, setting up for thread the needle. Remember, you have a lot of options with this. Perhaps this is as far as your body wants to go, but there's always adding the forward fold and the arm sweep if you like. So we'll begin together. Stretching out your arm. Good. Slide it along the opposite thigh, putting your thread through the eye of the needle. I'm going to advance this by folding forward, relaxing your head, adding the arm sweep out to the side or all the way up, reaching for the sky. And let's let that go now. Coming back. Pause for a breath or two in between sides. Pausing for the breath is important because it allows the body to reset, number one, and it gives you the opportunity to observe how your body is responding to each movement. Let's do the other side. Stretch the arm forward. Slide it along your thigh, easing yourself in. Do I want a little more? Do I want a little less? Always reminding you that this is your practice. It's not going to look quite like anybody else's. And that's a good thing. Good. Next time you breathe in, guide yourself back to center and pause. So a good way to get moving in the morning, to get the heart pumping, to get the lungs working, is to do some sun salutations. So we're going to do a couple of those. A seated version, palms pressing together, waking up the muscles of your arms, setting your intention to stay present as you move. So allow the inhale to sweep your arms up. Exhale, do a little bit of a back bend. Come back through mountain, and then open your arms. Let yourself fold forward and let all of the breath go. Place your palms on your knees as you come up halfway and breathe in. Exhale and fold. Inhaling, arms sweep up. Reach back. Breath comes in mountain, and exhales right to the heart. One more of those. Inhale. And exhale, reach back. Take your breath into mountain. Nice big swan dive forward. Breath leaves the body. Palms to the knees. Breathe in halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale. Sweep up again, gathering in all that beautiful sunshine energy that I see outside. Exhale, reach it back. Breath into mountain and back to the heart where you pause. Good. So we're going to work on the lower body now. And we'll begin with some leg lifts. And here's where your yoga tie can come in very handy. So we're going to be starting with some leg lifts, working on one side. But if that's challenging for you and making you uncomfortable, make sure you just hook your yoga tie and let your yoga tie assist with the movement. Okay, making sure you have a long enough grip. So if you're too short on the tie, you're going to be bending over like this. So you want to keep the tie nice and long so your spine can stay straight. And we'll begin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. A couple more times. Always stopping if you get too tired or it's uncomfortable. And this time the foot's going to stay up in the air, giving that quadricep muscle a little bit of work. Again, you can use your yoga tie or you can hold on behind the thigh. It's perfectly fine. Pointing your toe, pressing out through your heel. Just rocking the foot forward and back. And then draw some circles with your toe. So try to keep the rest of the leg quiet as you do this. So you're just moving the ankle. Want that ankle flexibility. It's good for helping to prevent falls if you've got good mobility in your feet and ankles. Good. So now I'm going to begin to draw that knee up towards my chest. Again, you've got your handy dandy yoga tie. You can use that. I'm just going to hang on below the knee. Adjust your seat so you're still sitting up tall. Breathe in, relax your shoulders. So again, as you're holding, notice if there's an opportunity to draw the knee a little closer. As the muscles relax, you might get a little bit deeper range. Good. Let's work a little more deeply into the hips. So holding on with one hand, let's begin to circle the knee. Making sure you're not leaning back in your chair. The hip joint has a lot of mobility, or the potential for a lot of mobility. Some of us may have had injuries or hip replacements, so use caution, use care. Let's draw the knee out to the side and guide it back. Out to the side, guide it back. Once more, out to the side, guide it back. Hug it in. Let's move into the figure 4 stretch from here. So again, depending on what's available to you in terms of flexibility, you can cross at the ankles, at the knees, or you can place the ankle on top of the opposite thigh. Great. Sit up tall and notice what you're feeling. To get more sensation of a stretch, you can press down on the knee and pull up on the foot. Still want more, you can lean forward. Another good trick for easing the body into a stretch is to let the breath go with a sigh. So let's try that. Breathe in, and then let the exhale go with a ha. Good. How does your body react? Try it again. Breathe in and exhale. Ha. Wonderful. Let's inhale and release that and come over to the opposite side. We'll start with the leg lifts here, reminding you, you can use your yoga tie around the sole of the foot if you would like. Upper body stays quiet. So I'm breathing in as I lift and exhaling as I lower. Let's leave the foot up now. Again, you can hold on. You can use your yoga tie, point your toe, pressing out through the heel. Point, press, point, press, and point, and press. And circle that ankle. Let's go the other way, please. Good. And then drawing that knee up towards the chest again, adjusting your seat if you've started to slump a little bit. And we'll work more deeply into the hip by drawing circles in the air. And let's go the other way. Even if you can make a small circle or just one or two, that's fine. Good. Draw that knee out. Bring it in. Draw it away from the body and draw it back in. Out and in. Ready for the figure 4 stretch on this side? I like to include this because it's one of my favorites. Although here's a little secret with your yoga practice, it's really good to think about and ask yourself, what poses am I avoiding? And sometimes the poses we don't want to do are the ones that would be most helpful to us. So just notice if you do that when you do your practice. So ankles can cross, knees can cross, or ankle can rest on top of the thigh. Nice tall sit. Check in with the sensation. And if you want more, pressing down on the knee, up on the foot. You're going to feel this right in the upper part of the hip. Go ahead and fold forward. This is all optional. Let's try that sighing out breath once again. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. And again. And release. Come on up. Uncross. So let's move into our seated forward fold. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Again, this is a fold where we increase the depth of the stretch by moving feet away from the body. That moves the stretch further up into the hamstring attachments. So you decide when you need to leave and not go any further. So we'll do it like a wave. Exhaling as we come forward, inhaling back. Just checking in. I'm going to advance my feet just a little bit. Feeling the stretch move up. And a little bit more. And then when you find the best place for you to have this version of the stretch, I'd like you to hold. You can hold onto your chair for stability, or you can place your hands on the floor. Head is relaxed. Don't hold your head up. Good. And to come up, you can either walk your hands up your legs to give you a little support, or you can engage your core, hands at the hips, and hinge up. Good. Pause for a breath, face forward, and let's come up to standing. So remember, with your standing poses, it's always a good idea to keep the supporting leg a little bit flexed. So when I say that, I mean pushing the kneecap back puts a lot of strain on the knee joint, and it's really not terribly comfortable for your lower back. So if you keep a little bit of a flex in the knee, that's good. So let's shift the weight to the leg closest to the chair and begin to lift the opposite foot. Again, the foot might not come up too far, and that's perfectly fine. We're going to set up for tree pose here. We're going to do both versions of tree. So let's take the knee out to the side. Again, that was a good warm-up we did with the hip. It got us ready for tree pose. Placing your foot either on the floor or opposite the calf. You want to avoid that place directly opposite the knee because that puts too much sideways pressure on the knee. How about some branches? Oh, I was walking the other day and there's little green buds on the bushes. It's so exciting to see it, spring come back. Don't lock that supporting leg, and do keep your breath moving. Good. Release and breathe. So you can either repeat that version of the tree, or we're going to do the other version where the foot comes up on the chair. So again, so the weight now comes to your outside leg, unlocking that knee and placing the foot on the chair, toes pointing the same direction as your knee. Good. You can always keep a hand on the chair here. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to build my branches and breathe. Excellent. Let's release. Good. Awesome. So turn and face the chair. We're going to come into warrior 3. So I'm going to show you some variations. For some of you, so we're going to have the leg in the front, step to the back, just like we would for warrior. You can bring your hands to the chair if you like. If you can manage to come forward, you can. You can slide the toe back, or you can actually begin to lift the foot. Now notice how my head is staying in a neutral position. You can release the opposite arm. So is everybody ready? Okay, so turn and face the chair. Hand on the hip to begin. Soften both knees. Excellent. Good. Hinging right at your hips. Guide your torso forward. Can you place your hands on the chair? Good. Can you go a little further? Good. So notice my back is pretty flat here. That's what I want to maintain. I'm going to begin to first slide the toe back and then see if I'd like to raise it. You can also release the opposite arm. One more breath. Lower the hand, lower the foot, come back up and take a breath. Let's do those on the other side. So we're going to begin with tree pose. I'm going to move my chair over a little bit. Beginning with strengthening the leg that's closest to the chair. Begin to lift up the knee. It's another place where you can actually avail yourself of the yoga tie, hooking it underneath the thigh. That's helpful. Good. Breathing, relaxing the shoulders. Always important to stabilize the breath before you begin. Draw the knee out to the side and choose a position for your foot. Hips are facing forward. And create your branches. And your tree is probably going to blow a little bit in the breeze, and that's perfectly fine. A little bit of flexibility helps to maintain balance. Good. Breathe in, release, and let's do the other version, or repeat the first version if you like. So my outer leg is supporting me, but I'm keeping the knee soft, drawing the knee back as far as I would like to go, and creating some branches with one arm or both. Nice, steady breath. And exhale. Release the foot. And let's get ready for warrior three. So turning the face of the chair, take the front leg and step it back. Doesn't have to be a big step. Might want to place your hand right at your hip to remind you that that's where the fold is going to come from. So on an exhale, fold forward. Hands to the chair. Maybe walk the hands forward, slide that toe back. Maybe even lift the foot and release the opposite arm. Head is in a neutral position. Good, and release. Nicely done, everybody. Let's take a seat. Reaching up, let's just do a few side to side twists just to settle the energy. Knowing that the energy will go exactly where it's needed in your body. No need to fret about it. And then settling down, letting your eyes close or gazing towards the floor. Feeling your body settle in the chair. And during this seated relaxation, there's no need to breathe in any particular way. except remembering to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Noticing your body and the sensations. And maybe noticing where you feel a little more spaciousness, openness, ease. Letting your attention rest on every part of your body. Tips of your toes, all the way up to the crown of your head. If you notice a part of your body that seems to need a little extra TLC, you can simply let that tension go, drawing in the breath, exhaling it, just intentionally sending any tension out with the exhale. And as you breathe and relax and settle, take in the words of this Baha'i blessing. Be generous in prosperity. Be thankful in adversity. Be fair in judgment and guarded in speech. Be a lamp unto those who walk in darkness and a home to the stranger. Be eyes to the blind and a guiding light unto feet of the erring. Be a breath of life to the body of humankind, a dew to the soil of the human heart, and a fruit upon the tree of humility. So opening your eyes if they're closed, bringing your hands to heart center. I salute you all for joining me in practice and learning the ins and outs of Zoom over these past 3 years. You've demonstrated great flexibility and willingness, and I honor you. Namaste. Jai Bhagwan.